2 days ago, China warns of possible trade war with U.S. Germany's Habeck heads to Beijing, and China. European Union. 2 days ago, China warns of possible trade war with U.S. Germany's Habeck heads to Beijing, and China. European Union agreed to hold talks on EV tariffs. Germany's Vice-Chancellor, Habeck blames China's Russia support for worsening Berlin and Beijing relations. Chinese e-commerce sales up 14% during 618 shopping festival. Report says Reuters reported, more worries for China. Sales at big e-commerce festival drop for first time. Macron courts coalition of rivals to block extremes from power. Hungary's anti-immigrant Orbán says Germany no longer smells same. AfD apparently plans to form a new European Parliament group, the Sovereignists. Vietnam says it's ready to hold talks with Philippines on overlapping continental shelf claims. India boosts defense ties with Bangladesh as it tries to become a counterweight to China. UN confirms Doha talks with Taliban will exclude Afghan rights defenders. Swiss push to rewire financial system in wake of banking crash. Wall Street Journal commented as, Nvidia's success is the stock market's problem. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America and Citibank flagged for holding trillions of dollars in derivatives without proper contingency plans, claimed in a report. Media report claims official who gave Putin wrong intelligence on Ukraine war resigns. Bloomberg comments as, Russia is storing up a crime wave when its war on Ukraine ends. Poland considers complete closure of border with Belarus. Donald Trump tells U.S. evangelical Christians to vote for him one more time. Biden will soon embroil U.S. in World War III, says Trump, and Trump vows to settle conflict in Ukraine before his inauguration. Trump's new promises: immunity for cops, an Iron Dome, cheaper bacon, and Donald Trump proposes Migrant Fight League during Bonkers rally speech. Reopening Brexit debate would bring turmoil, says Keir Starmer, and Sunak claims Starmer could put Brexit in peril, as Labour warned voters against election complacency. It had been commented as neo-Nazi advance in Brazil worries and comes under international monitoring. In Shanghai Film Festival Kazakh drama, The Divorce takes top prize. It has been speculated as, will China's historic paper on Chang'e 6 lunar far side samples be in English or Chinese? China and France satellite launched to monitor most powerful explosions in space. China retaliates against Lockheed Martin for arms deals with Taiwan, banning 3 top executives and key business units. China to extend anti-dumping duties on styrene imported from ROK, Taiwan region, U.S. U.S. is closer to curbing investments in China's AI tech sector. 35 bottles from the 18th century filled with cherries unearthed by archaeologists at George Washington's Mount Vernon. D.C. woman finds 2,000 years old Mayan vase at thrift store and returns it to Mexico. Biden and Harris administration proposes plan to protect and steward old-growth forests on National Forest System lands. Japan's top court rules trans woman father of girl born after switch. In South Korea, the #1 measure for low birth rates chosen by office workers is mandatory parental leave for both married couples. It has been reported as another year without South Carolina Juneteenth recognition, where Confederate Memorial Day is celebrated. Several AI companies said to be ignoring robots.txt exclusion, scraping content without permission, claimed in a report. AI models could devour all of the internet's written knowledge by 2026. Alibaba Cloud's AI programmer gets mixed reactions from real programmers. X will soon limit the ability to live stream to premium subscribers. Spotify launches less expensive, basic premium plan, without audiobooks. Putin is pumping UK kids' brains full of fake news, Labour's education boss says. Coinstat suspends app after security breach compromises 1,590 wallets. 50 Cent's X hacked in latest crypto pump and dump scheme. Sean Diddy Combs deletes all Instagram posts, including Cassie apology video, amid mounting legal problems. Armenia recognizes Palestinian statehood, says Armenian Foreign Ministry. Japanese Emperor Naruhito finally begins delayed UK state visit. In Brazil, an error in measurement more than 100 years ago will make Piranha lose territory to Santa Catarina. Nigeria unveils new rules and compliance program for digital assets. German government moves $195 million worth of Bitcoin to exchanges. Marathon initiates pilot project using Bitcoin mining heat to warm Finnish residents. Report claims Korea to rank 4th globally in outflow of millionaires this year. 4 members of a billionaire family get prison in Switzerland for exploiting domestic workers. As the court condemns the richest family in the United Kingdom, it paid its servants £7 a day for 18 hours of work. India economic inequality to persist despite roaring GDP growth. As per Reuters poll, New York Times reported that Iran has flooded West Bank with arms for 2 years, aims to make it next flashpoint. Israel says it's assassinated key Hamas weapons supplier in Lebanon. Israeli women rush to buy guns in October 7th aftermath. Eiffel Tower ticket prices increase by 20%. In bid to save Paris Iron Lady. A new reality show will pay cash if players can convince experts the Earth is flat. George R.R. Martin says new Game of Thrones prequel will be out in early 2025. Reform UK's Nigel Farage blames NATO and EU for provoking Ukraine war. Russia tells US that we need to talk but Ukraine must be on agenda. The US will close Russian visa centers in New York and Washington, and diplomats will be forced to pay taxes. Canada stops foreign nationals from applying for a post-graduation work permit at a port of entry. Greece introduces the 6 days work week nearly 12 years ago. Eurozone demands that Greece mandate 6 days work week in exchange for second bailout. Britain's biggest union demands a 4 days week. Houthis' Islamic resistance in Iraq attack commercial vessels in Israel's Haifa. USS Dwight D. Eisenhower now in the Med. USS Theodore Roosevelt heads to the Middle East. African Union agrees to new force to fight Islamists in Somalia. 3 days ago, it has been reported that Somalia asks peacekeepers to slow withdrawal, fears Islamist resurgence. U.S. nuclear-powered carrier arrives in South Korea ahead of trilateral drill. Marcos says Philippines won't incite wars as South China Sea tensions spike. China sent 66 warplanes into Taiwan airspace over 2 days period. Ex-Cobalt cyber gang targets Russian sectors with new Gord backdoor.
Jollibé investigate alleged data breach affecting millions.
U.S. sanctions Kaspersky executives following ban of its software. Human shielding in action. Israeli forces strap Palestinian man to jeep. Gaza bombs near the Red Cross, 22 dead. Widely reported 50 Nova suicide story not correct, says Israeli psychologist. 7 New Caledonia independence activists sent to mainland France for detention. Senior Chinese propaganda official Zhang Jianqun faces corruption investigation. 13 arrested after fireworks from yacht spark forest fire on Greek island. China's Qingshan $1 billion steel plant in Zimbabwe starts production. Gazprom gas supplies to Europe through Ukraine reach 42.4 m cubic meters. Thailand's Sretha touts plans for legalizing casinos, building nuclear plant to cut power costs. Flash flooding hits Sioux Falls following heavy rainfall. Catastrophic flooding in upper Midwest prompts evacuations as record-breaking heat wave broils the West and Mid-Atlantic. As in the U.S., a heat wave is bringing searing temperatures to New York and the I-95 corridor. Washington, D.C. has